Homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao-Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zeng Kong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubden Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Guru Rinpoche, Guru Padma Sambhava, Ishi Choka, Mandarawa, Sakyadevi, Kalashidi, and Tashi children. Homage to Guru Padma Sambhava and the 5 great Buddha mothers. Sumo, Danzen Katso, Tuten Siddhi, all Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma assistants, directors of temples, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, how do you do? Aisteru, Sarange, Hola amigo, te quiero mucho, Sugoin, Ichiban, Kimochi ii, Jumi, Yappy, Bling Bling. How do you do, everybody?
Today is July 4th. It's American country birthday. It's a holiday. So many people go to the tour and enjoy it today. I weekend. I in temple teach the lesson. So I'm too tired.
We can say it's holiday all over the nation. Only the Grandmaster of True Buddha School has no holiday, no tour, and he has to work. That's why I feel tired. Today, at the start, let me share a joke first. There is an elderly couple. After fighting for a few days, a few weeks, have not talked to each other. And one day, the elderly man found that the woman is still sulking, so he started to do something. So he seemed like he was looking for something and turning everything over from the drawers and cabinets and closets. So the old lady finally could not help herself and asked, "What are you looking for?" And the old man replied, "Oh, thank God, I finally found your voice." This is very useful. So after a couple fights, and if they don't talk, they can use the same method. So today, Grandmaster will still give a talk, although it is July 4th. Today is July 4th, 2020. Now we will do the you ask and I answer. The first question. For a female practitioner who has had hysterectomy, can she practice the treasure vase yoga, treasure vase energy yoga, and hold the chi at her navel or lower dantian? And the next, would surgery affect our body mandala? Would it be destroyed and create problems in our chi practice? Let me tell you, when we practice qi or breathing, don't think of all your organs or even uterus, whether you have it or not. Don't think about it. In the very beginning, think that you have the shape of a human being. Just a shape, but inside it, it's completely empty. And you visualize the central channel, visualize the left channel and the right channel, visualize the lower dantian, the middle dantian, and the upper dantian. There's a few key things: central channel, left and right channels, and the left and right channels connect to the central channel at the lower dantian, and the middle dantian is at the heart chakra, and the upper dantian is at the brow chakra. And you visualize like that, And this is for the qi practice. It is completely unrelated to the uterus. And you are a female practitioner, but for a male practitioner, we don't have any uterus or we don't have any womb. So men don't have any wombs. So if the womb or the uterus has been taken away, it's okay for her to visualize it at the lower dantian. So if you have had surgery, the body mandala will not be destroyed. And will not affect the qi practice. So qi practice involves the central channel, left and right channels, and they are all visualized. So the central channel and the left and right channels and all the channels and chakras mostly are visualized. They are illusory and half real and half illusion. So the body mandala will not be damaged because you still have the upper, middle and lower dantian. There's a Taiwanese song that it's a Taoist song. That inside my heart, inside my body, there are 36,000 gods. So that means the body mandala is not damaged. And at the upper dantian, there are many gods. At the middle dantian and the lower dantian, there are many gods living there. The Taoist practice also visualize this way. They also have visualization. How many gods at what place, wearing what color clothing, and who's the main one, and etc. So it's the same for Taoists as well as tantric practices. In the eyes, what god, the eyebrow, the nose, the teeth, what gods would be residing there, on the ears, etc. When one chants Vajrasattva's 100-syllable mantra, is it okay to also hold my breath at the heart chakra or navel chakra, including the entrance, abiding, merging and dispersion, or is it better to just focus on the mantra chanting? In my opinion, when you chant Vajrasattva's 100-syllable mantra, it is better if you just focus on the mantra chanting, because focus and concentration is extremely important. If you are multitasking, then it will not be as good. Sometimes when we do things and we multitask or get distracted, then sometimes it would be troublesome. Like when you cut vegetables with knives, your hands move following the knife, holding the vegetables. But if you get distracted and you try to multitask, try it, then there'll be problem. So for all the Dhamma practices, you first visualize and then chant the mantra. And during mantra chanting, all you have to do is just concentrate. So when you chant Vajrasattva's 100-syllable mantra, is it okay to chant and hold my breath at the heart or navel chakra, including the entrance, abiding, merging, and dispersion? Of course, it's better to just concentrate and focus on the mantra chanting. So when you chant mantra, all you have to do is to be single-minded and concentrate on the mantra chanting. First, or you visualize the Vajraheart Bodhisattva to be in union with your root guru and enter into your heart to be seated on top of your heart chakra. And you transform yourself to become Vajraheart Bodhisattva first. And then you start chanting the Vajrasattva's 100-syllable mantra. That's all. By all means, don't chant mantra and breathe in and hold it and then merge it with your body and then to disperse the qi. Then where would your mantra chanting be? The entrance, abiding, merging, and dispersion, or the descending, holding, and dispersion. How can you chant at those times? I cannot do it. And you can. So you should teach me. You know, when I chant mantra, how can I do the entrance, abiding, merging, and dispersion? That is impossible. So it is better if you just concentrate. Wholeheartedly homage to lineage root guru, living Buddha Lu-Ling Shen. My question is, I have received longevitology, opening of the vital points. Is this also a kind of qi practice or internal martial art? Will this help my Dhamma practice? He has learned longevitology, opening of the vital points. I know that longevitology exists, but Grandmaster never practiced it. So longevitology, so that's for longevity and health, is that right? Anybody has learned it before? Please raise your hand. Have you heard of longevitology? Yes. How do you do it? It's a kind of qi practice. In Taoism, we talk about longevity. First, you take in the qi. You take in the qi into your body. Guru Padmasambhava has also said the best kind of food is the air. The best kind of food in the whole world is qi, is the air. So in Taoism, we also say that you have to take in the air or qi to benefit you. Then you can have a long life. So we often do complete breathing and to breathe finely, slowly and long. And second is to swallow your saliva in Taoism. That's for longevity. You often swallow your saliva, the saliva of your body inside your mouth. When you place the tip of your tongue at the upper palate, there would be the heavenly water dripping until your mouth is full, and then you swish it around until it bubbles. And you swallow the bubbly saliva into your stomach. So you swish the saliva with your tongue until it becomes bubbly, and then you swallow it until it reaches your stomach and then absorbed by your stomach and to be transported all over the body. So this is the practice of swallowing saliva for longevity. If you do it frequently, then you can live a long life and maintain your youth. You know why? Because the water that drips from above, that's called the heavenly palace water, and then you use your tongue to swish it around until it becomes sweet and becomes bubbles, and then you swallowed it and then reach all over your body. That is your hormone. That's your hormone. And if you have plenty of hormones, then you will not age. So this is the practice of longevity. Take in the air, swallow saliva, and then to connect or to open the three jiao or three burners, which means all the channels are open and flowing. And the fourth one is the warming the yang. So you always maintain the temperature in your body to be warm and comfortable, which is the same as the inner fire of Tantrayana. If you follow my teachings like this, then you have a long life and healthy and youthful. Like when you are 80, you look like you're 50. Or when you're 50, you look like you're 20. Or if you're 20, 20 is already very young. You can't say that they'll be like a baby. So you look younger than other people. You look more youthful than other people. Younger, more energetic, more powerful. So you need to understand the concept. And that's for longevity. And yet you learn longevitology. Grandmaster doesn't know that. But what I'm teaching you now is the true longevity, rejuvenation, and youthful practice. Well, of course, this would be helpful to your Dharma practice. Like when you breathe in or taking in the air, that would be helpful to your practice, to your inner power. So any qi practice would be beneficial to your spiritual cultivation. And on top of that, I can also swallow saliva. Most elderlies don't have any more saliva. They cannot talk anymore. Their secretion getting less and less as they grow older. When you're really old, you would do this because you have no more saliva. Because you would lick your lips because you have no more saliva when you grow old. Because their secretion has decreased to become almost nothing. There are many kinds of saliva. There is saliva from the heavenly palace. And the saliva of the balls. And the stomach can also produce some saliva. And the intestines also produce saliva. So the liver, the spleen, the heart, the kidneys, they all have saliva. But the water that we practice is the heavenly divine water. Then if you know to practice that, and if you can master that, then it would be beneficial to your qi practice, internal practice, and the Dhamma practice. The next question. I would like to ask a question about Amitabha's sleep light protection Dhamma practice. You taught us to visualize Xie, 6-syllable revolving to become Amitabha Buddha at my throat chakra and abides there. My question is, Amitabha is so great. How do I do the visualization so that I can place him at my small throat chakra? Thank you for asking this question. In the realm of spiritual cultivation, let me say it simply. Just now, when we visualize our central channels, then I say that the central channel should be visualized like a straw. Like when we drink the bubble tea, the straw that we use, smaller than that, smaller than the straw inside your body. Do you know, in the visualization of oneness, Amitabha Buddha in front of you really huge, and he can shrink to become a pole of light and then enter into your apex through your central channel to your heart chakra, to be seated on top of the lotus at your heart chakra, and then gradually enlarges. That's the visualization of I enter and enter me. Amitabha Buddha became a small pole, enters into your central channel and passing through your throat chakra to sit at the heart chakra, and then gradually enlarges to become just like you, and with the snap of the fingers you become Amitabha Buddha. So whether it's big or small, they are all relative. So from a gigantic Amitabha can become a minuscule Amitabha. So there's no problem to be seated at the throat chakra, because he could pass through the central channel, which is as small as a straw. So there's no problem at all. He could be seated at your heart chakra and then emitting red light that becomes a net of light and to cover you, and you sleep amidst inside the net of light irradiated by Amitabha Buddha. That's the Amitabha sleep light protection. So now you know. Although Amitabha Buddha is huge, is limitless, let me tell you one thing. Don't be puzzled. Your central channel, when you have attainments in your Qi practice, that the whole cosmic space is your central channel. But didn't you say that we have to visualize the central channel to be as small as the straw? However, if you have attainments in your Qi practice, your whole body is your central channel. And even greater than that is the whole universe is your central channel. So big and small are embraced together, interchangeable. There is a sutra called the Vimalakirti Sutra. There's a Buddha called the Mount Meru Light King Buddha. At that Buddha's place, he has all the precious Dharma throne of all the Buddhas. And one time, Vimalakirti embraced all those Dharma thrones inside his bed bedroom, and his bedroom is small. So although the bedroom was small, it could house all the Dharma thrones of all the Buddhas in the whole universe. Because in the past, Vimala Kirti was the Tathagata Jinli. So the big one can embrace the small ones, and the small one can embrace the big ones. So that's the unfathomable part of the sutras of the Buddha Dharma. The Buddha Dharma is beyond imagination. It's unfathomable. When Amitabha Buddha is big, the whole universe is Amitabha Buddha. When he's small, he could be seated at the tip of a needle. The palace of Amitabha Buddha at the tip of the needle, at the head of the needle. You know how fine that is. The tip of the needle. And Amitabha could be standing there. So that's not a problem at all. So how do I do the visualization that I can place Amitabha Buddha at my small throat chakra? No problem at all. Doesn't matter how fine the needle is, on top of it, Amitabha Buddha can stand. Can stand on top of it. Okay, let me share this joke. The 6-year-old nephew brought his friends home, and after his friends gone, his mom asked him, so that friend in class, what grade does he get? And it's like last in class. And the mom got really angry. You have to learn from, and you want to befriend your classmates who do better in school than you do. Because if they do worse than you, then you become worse and worse. You shouldn't befriend him, last in class. And this nephew had tears in his eyes, and he said, when I started befriending him, he was first in class. So that meant that that nephew did not have good grade. Because the friend who was first in class, after playing with this nephew, became last in class. Nothing strange about it. When Grandmaster was in junior high school, Grandmaster was last in class and stayed in class twice. Even the last in class could still pass the class. But I didn't even pass that. So I stayed in the same class not only once but twice. And I'm extremely proud of it. That I was staying in class in junior high school, but in high school I became first in class.
所以不能够小看啊，
So please don't underestimate
不可以小看。
anybody that's last in class.
所以有些同学啊，
So for some students don't study and very naughty
这脑袋里面乱想，
and have so much
还有耍流氓， 还有说谎，
create troubles
讲谎话，
and bullying others, lying
到处去那个闲话，
and
溜个，
just take it easy and
你不要小看
run away from classes.
总统的材料。
You know, don't undermine them. They have the ingredients to be a president.
只有这种人呢、将来才可以当总统。
Only those kind of people can
反正赖皮啊
has the potential to become president.
玩耍啊，这个
That
草
they
猎人的思
have
想
no
调皮
face,
捣蛋啊，
shameless, and troublemaker,
起的人才。
and a bully,
像
and a
我
jerk,
那些那些
then
乖
that
乖
would
牌的
become
班长
an
我
outstanding
小学的
people.
小学的家长会
But
会长的儿子
the proper
都是名列前茅，
people,
就在前面的第一名。
like they're always first or second in class,
瞬间啊
and
全部默默无
children of principals, they are
真的，我小学的几个同学，
unheard of
那
these
几个
days.
默默无闻
You know, the first few students in my class nowadays, they are unheard of.
一条
They have no fame.
溜课，
But the troublemakers, the naughty one, the
上课
disobedient
上课
one, who always fall asleep in class, never studied,
那个就是卢生燕。
that was Seng Yen Lu.
但是我也能够拿到第一名了。
But I
留级
also was first in class too.
的时候，我初中留级
I
的时候
stayed in the same class twice in junior school, but in high school I became first in class.
我再跟大家讲道果哈。
Now let me continue
总
on
体而
Lamdre.
言，地气等各大种，亦有四作用，四个作用，
In sum,
故有
the
16
earth energy and the other major types,
四种
each has its own four functions, thus a total of 16.
阴的
The four types
中
are
性气
yang, yin, neutral
顿超
energy,
之否然
and the burning flame of transcendent wisdom.
其中啊，以阳
Among
气
these,
跳
the main function of the yang
阴
energy
气所
is jumps, the yin energy
中性气
shivers,
故
the neutral energy
顿
solidity,
超之否
and
然
the
之
function
作
of the
用
burning flame of the transcendent
纵
wisdom is speedy
持
release.
中持重持，阳气主跳，阴气
The
主
main
跌
function of the yang energy is jumps, the yin energy shivers, the neutral energy solidity, and the function of the burning flame of the transcendent wisdom is speedy release.
中持。颂吟
The
出
verse
离
states,
界
The initial accumulation period is the four functional service energy produced by the initial accumulation of the mind qi as the continual accumulation of this initial spiritual experiences. Thus, it is referred as the initial accumulation period. There are five. What accumulation? What accumulation relied upon? Metaphor of the accumulation, the spiritual experiences of the accumulation, and absorption practice of the accumulation. This talks about the four functions. So the qi has four functions. One is yang, one is yin, one is neutral energy, and the burning flame of transcendent wisdom. The wordings, he created lots of his own terms based on what I know. Warmth, the signs of progress is called warmth. So the signs of progress in your spiritual cultivation is called the warmth. It does not necessarily refer to the inner fire. Of course, inner fire can also generate signs of warmth. But in the sutras, when they use this term warmth, it means the progress of your spiritual cultivation. So they created their own terms. Like the character Jie, that's obstacles or kind of hindrances. So in this Lamdre book, Chinese version, it seemed that they intentionally created these terms to muddle it, to confuse it. And the person who wrote this was Virupa, but then it was translated into Chinese, and they make it so that nobody understands, to show that he is very outstanding. Like when Grandmaster paints, if you can understand my paintings, then what use is that? Look at people who won the Nobel Prizes. There was one book called Ling Shen. Read it. I guarantee you cannot understand it. Because if you can understand it, it would not have won the Nobel Prize, because nobody understands. That's why they won the prize. It's the same thing with the great painters, because they painted something that you could not decipher. Then they became the great painter. So this is what happens with Lamdre too. He just wanted to show he is the greatest, and to make us all befuddled. What the heck is it?
刚的比较刚性的气就叫做阳，比较柔的气就叫做阴。
The stronger active qi is called yang, and the gentle one is called yin. and between yang and yin is called the neutral energy. You can just say the you can just say the hard and the soft and the neutral. So when you had a strong qi, that's yang. If it's the gentle qi, is yin, and the neutral is between yang and yin. And the burning flame of transcendent wisdom, what is that? Good. It's the thing that transport the qi. That's it. Things that can move the qi is that burning flame of transcendent wisdom. So we can say the thing that transports the qi. I have to explain it, otherwise you don't understand what the burning flame of transcendent wisdom is. Transcendent wisdom, and the flame is burning. What the hell is that? So now explaining. So the qi that moves the qi, and the function of the yang energy is jumps. So if you use a strong and firm qi, then it would jump. The qi would jump. And the yin energy shivers or trembles. That's for the gentle qi. And the yang qi would bounce or jump. And the neutral energy, solidity. So no bounces and no shivers. So it's rather stable, rather solid. So if we use the fire, the yang fire is a very bright and blazing fire. And the yin flower is a flame, a very gentle and shivering, trembling. That's the yin fire. And the neutral energy is in between, a very solid, radiant. And the function of the burning flame of transcendent wisdom is speedy release, or running, galloping. So now explain the yang fire, yin fire, and neutral fire. It's not Taichung. Taichung Power Company is the source of air pollution in central Taiwan. The verse states the initial accumulation period is the four functional energy produced by the initial accumulation of the mind qi as the continual accumulation of these initial spiritual experiences. So these four kinds of qi are the spiritual experiences or the body sensation that you have. comes from these 4 functions of the qi, and this is called the initial accumulation period. And there are 5 kinds: what accumulation relied upon, metaphor of the accumulation, the spiritual experiences of the accumulation, and absorption practice for the accumulation. We will explain it later. These are all titles. Did you hear the fireworks? No, it's for July 4th. Yeah. During music class, the teacher asked, "So students, what kind of music do you like?" And Xiaoming replied very loudly, the bells to indicate the end of class, is that considered music? And the teacher replied, "Yeah, we can say it's music. It sounds nice." And Xiaoming replied, "That's the music I like most." And the music teacher said, "Get out of here." When we were students, we loved hearing the ring of bells at the end of class. One time, my brother and I walked behind Grandpa, and as we went uphill, we heard Grandpa letting out gas one after another for 7 times. And we were speechless. That's just so amazing. What is Dad doing? And my brother said, "Oh, he's putting on this gas pedal." That's a good answer. You have to pay attention for this joke, because otherwise you wouldn't understand. The bus is full, and several elderly women and an elderly man were inside. And one of the old ladies said, "My firstborn son wanted me to live in Taipei, and my second son wanted me to live in Kaohsiung. I don't know what I should do. My firstborn wanted me to live in Taipei, and my second son wanted me to live in Kaohsiung. What should I do?" And many people in the bus praised her children to be very filial, and said that you have such a good life. And then this old lady said again, "But my firstborn son lives in Kaohsiung, and the second son lives in Taipei." You understand? So the firstborn wants me to live in Taipei, but he lives in Kaohsiung. And the second son wants me to live in Kaohsiung, but he lives in Taipei. So they are not filial. They are the other way around, from being kind to their parent. Actually, we don't live for very long once you grow old. If you want to be kind to your parents, do it soon, as soon as possible. All the good deeds start with filial piety. Being filial piety is very important. So from little, we always love children. And when we grow old, the children left us. And that's very hurtful. So as children, you need to understand the love of our parents. We have to care and be kind to them at all times. Without your parents, where would you be? The Koreans often say that they invent a lot of things, like the fireworks of China, and they claim that Confucius was also Korean because Confucius was from Shandong, which was pretty close to Korea. And they also claim they invented tofu and chopsticks, Chinese medicine, the journey to the West, and everything they claim they invented. But what have Chinese invented then? They invented the Koreans. That's a joke. So today, I hope that as Buddhist practitioners, you want to be able to study and comprehend everything that the past learned masters passed to us. Not only you need to have good Buddhist knowledge, you also want to have the real application until you gain the spiritual experiences, or moreover the clear light radiance, and finally when you can prove your Buddha nature and have signs of proofs of attainments. I hope that of the true Buddha disciples, in the future you can write your own treatise about your spiritual cultivation. That you can create your own spiritual cultivation treatise to pass on to the future spiritual cultivators, to guide them on this path.